So the first thing that I did was brush my eyebrow hairs. I don't know why I did it. I think it's just force of habit because the way I put on the Elmer's glue stick is upwards. But this time I went back and forth because in the past when I would just brush them upwards, it wouldn't stick to my skin and it would always peek through the concealer and the foundation or whatever I put on top of it. So I went back and forth so that the hairs are coated completely so the underside would stick to my skin, and then I brush it up so that it will have a you're trying to get the smoothest surface as you can get, and then pat it down and feeling for it to make sure that it's dry before putting anything on top of it. So I did wait for a little bit before I proceed with the next step. So I just put on my primer, and then now, sorry, I'm not showing the makeup products, but this is by e.l.f. It's the Camo Hydrating Concealer. I probably shouldn't have used a hydrating one because the hair started peeking through. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but anyway, just moving on. And then I'm just cleaning it off so that when I put anything else on top of it, it wouldn't look too bumpy. So it will look more polished, more neat. So I did a couple of layers, and in between I let it dry first. And then now the foundation, I know it's a little darker than the concealer, but when everything dries and oxidizes, it pretty much melts into one color. And you would want the brow area just to be a little lighter anyway, because this will now be your new brow bone for this look. So I'm just finishing it off over here. I really like this brush because it's like a mix of the foundation brush and the spatula. It evens it out really fast, and yeah, I know my face is lighter than my neck, but after I'm almost done with it, I'm gonna set it with a darker setting powder by Black Radiance in Soft Focus. Sorry, I forgot to show that. Now with the eyebrows, I just map it out with a light color eyeshadow, and I put it on ever so lightly with this flat angled brush so that it will look a little bit more even, because going over these bumpy areas, it is a challenge actually. And then once I like the shape of it, I tried my best to get both even. I mean, I didn't record the other side, but this is the best that I could do. I mean, I'm not a makeup artist, you know, I'm just an enthusiast, therefore the unevenness, but I'm not a pro, so, and it's good enough for me, you know, I like it. I love doing this stuff, it's a hobby. Anyway, the liquid liner is by Absolute New York. The applicator tip, or tip applicator, how do we say it? It's really thin. It's good enough for a pencil thin brows, but it ended up not as thin as I'd like it to be. Anyway, this video is moving too fast. The eyeshadow palette is one of my favorites from Wet n Wild. I haven't seen it for a while because I'd like to replace it. The palette is so old, and with my really sensitive eczematic skin, I shouldn't be doing this. But, you know, so far it hasn't posed a problem because my dry stuff, the old ones, I spray them regularly with alcohol and it hasn't caused any skin issues so far. But then again, you know, because I play around with it, as soon as I finish recording and take photos, I wash it off immediately and treat my skin right away. So maybe that's why I haven't reacted. But if they make another one, then it will immediately be replaced. Anyway, the lightest of the palette, of course, you use on your brows, and then you get darker as you go towards your the lash line. Actually, for this look, you want a darker inner and outer corner of the eyes. Because I wanted a darker eggplant kind of color, I went to the Beauty Treats eyeshadow palette. It's not as pigmented, but it works. You know, I just have to put several layers of it and maybe a different color underneath just to bring out the color that I do want. And so far, it has worked out. Now, this requires a lot of blending, but you have to be really careful because it can really look muddy, and it was already looking muddy. So I would go over it with a color again, and if it doesn't work out with the color because of the color underneath, then I will use another color from that Beauty Treats palette. So, you know, it just goes on and on, but this is packed on. But I kind of like the way it turned out. Looking at Zendaya's Met Gala pictures this year, I could not tell whether it's eggplant, red, burgundy, maroon, so I just pack it all on. And this is how it turned out. Now, let's talk about the lipstick. I'm really loving the Milani's Black Cherry, which is also really old, but it would be nice to find a dupe for it if they don't make another one. So what I've done here is just lighten the background a little bit, because what I do with my videos is really blacken the backdrop so that it's pitch black. So lightening it, you will see the colors better on my face. So now I'm just gonna strike a pose and strike a pose, strike a pose. I'm a Gen X. Strike a pose is an old saying, and it's from Madonna's Vogue. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.